Hi everyone and welcome back to You Know Who. I'm your host, the Reviewer. And we've had a few strange weeks around here. Still no sign of my missing couch, but I have a new chair to sit on and it's very comfortable. Oh, and with me as always is my cameraman, Jamie. I didn't like this, Reviewer. Things have started disappearing around the Sardis, our studio. Your couch, my collection of bath salts, the kitchenette disappeared this morning. Oh, don't worry so much, Jamie. I'm sure we'll all turn up sooner or later. Like this chair, it showed up out of nowhere. Nothing sinister about that. Even my kilts have gone missing. Yes, I can see that, Jamie. I must insist you go put some pants on. Pants, the ultimate insult. Oh, Reviewer, man cannot survive on bread alone. And Jamie, don't worry, I'll take good care of your bath salts. You wouldn't deny me a few creature comforts, would you? After all, what's a roommate for? Do I hear laughter? Oh well, let's get back to Doctor Who. This is the Empress of Mars. At modern-day NASA, the Doctor and company are making a nuisance of themselves. It's a bit of a field trip, but he psychic papers his way into a position of authority. A new probe to Mars is about to send back deep scans of the polar ice caps. And that scan reads, God save the Queen. The Doctor, Bill, and Nardole head to the underground caves of Mars, circa 1881. They've tracked life forms there, and they find a campfire. The Doctor stops Bill from taking off her helmet, but gets beamed to it by Nardole. There's oxygen here. They can breathe. A moment later, Bill falls down a hole. Nardole goes back to the TARDIS for rope, but once inside, it activates and dematerializes. The Doctor encounters an ice warrior as a door opens in front of Bill, and a man in a Bioshock-esque suit of armor steps out before taking off his helmet to reveal he's human. Nardole can't get the TARDIS to return to Mars, which might be just as well, as I'm a little burned out on Nardole after the last three-parter. Best to give us a break from him for this episode. If not completely, then I'd settle for this reduced role. The Doctor tries to talk to the Ice Warrior when a man in colonial British Army garb shows up with a rifle threatening to shoot. The Doctor tries to protect the Ice Warrior, but he's the one who almost gets shot. The Warrior is with them. His name is Friday. Jamie, you're sort of my man Friday. That's silly. This is Saturday. But it airs on a Friday. And is rerun on Sunday? Exactly. Live from New York! Nardole returns to university. Unsure of what to do, he heads to the vault to ask Missy for help. She agrees, but it'd be easier if she shows him what to do. Everyone is sitting down to tea with Colonel Godsaker and his second-in-command, Captain Ketchlove. In South Africa, the British Army found Friday's ship. They revived him from cryostasis, and he took them to Mars, promising them gems, gold, and other treasure. All will be mined with the Gargantua, a laser drill they built out of components from Friday's ship. But they found nothing, and the ship crashed, stranding the whole company of soldiers there, supplies dwindling. Friday was hoping to find his people, but they're all gone. Alone, the Doctor explains to Bill that Friday is a Martian or ice warrior. The troops are getting sick of mining when they break through to a chamber. They find the sarcophagus of a female ice warrior, adorned in gold and jewels. The Doctor recognizes this is a queen's tomb, but it could also be an advanced hibernation chamber. While Ketchlove wants to have the Doctor and Bill barred, Godsaker takes them away to talk. The Doctor is positive that Friday just came back to find his queen. It's why he led them here, but when the Doctor tells him to go home, Ketchlove is offended. They're British. Their empire extends everywhere, even Mars. One of the soldiers, Jackdaw, brings a drink to the sergeant on duty, but he passes out. Jackdaw knows Ketchlove is almost finished repairing the Martian ship, and asks his fellow soldier Vincey to cover for him as he robs the tomb. He's prying gems off the side of the sarcophagus, even as the gold begins to shed, and a hand grabs him from behind. This is another story relying more on events than people. Jackdaw, Vincey, and the other soldiers never really impress you with their deep, well-written characters. Back at the base, Friday senses something. With another shift coming on duty, Vincey looks for Jackdaw, but finds the statue and Jackdaw missing. A voice demands to know who he is. It's the revived female Ice Queen. When another soldier opens fire on her, she blasts him with a gun that twists his body into a ball. It's time to hang ten and enjoy one last summer barbecue and, of course, toss around this beach ball, comically made to look as though it has legs and arms and a British soldier's uniform. Oh, my giddy aunt! Mind sending it this way. Little help. Just as she's about to blast Vince, Friday arrives. He calls her Araxa. She is the Empress of all of Mars, and she recognizes him as her sentinel. He's fulfilled his duty to bring her back to life, although, he informs her, they've overslept some 5,000 years. Upon finding the dead soldiers, Ketchlove wants to open fire, but Godsaker holds back and lets the doctor talk to them. The doctor informs Araxa that the Martian war is over, and Mars is now uninhabitable. Only through cooperation can the Martians survive. This is Peter Capaldi's best acting in this episode. You can tell the doctor knows he's playing with fire and has to placate the Martians before this turns into a bloodbath. The Empress asks for Bill's advice, a fellow feminine perspective. This is Bill's chance to shine, as they don't give her that much to do in this episode except follow the doctor around. Unfortunately, her dialogue is less than inspiring. Bill advises the Empress to listen to the doctor. The humans saved Friday, but when she realizes they made an ice warrior subservient, she becomes enraged. The British draw their rifles, and unfortunately a nervous private fires a round that hits Araxa. Surprisingly calm, the Empress grants mercy to the British. They will have a swift death. She kills the soldier who fired on her, and Ketchlove orders a retreat. He tries to turn the Gargantua on the ice warriors. Godsaker tries to stop him, but he fires. Bill spoils his aim at the last moment, and the laser seals up the Martians in their tomb. As the Empress activates a switch, Ketchlove exposes the Colonel as a coward, one who's been hung for going AWOL. He has Godsaker, the Doctor, and Bill thrown in the brig. All three of them in the brig? Oh, crumbs. There's no way they'll all fit inside Nicholas Courtney. Oy vey. For those of you unfamiliar, Nicholas Courtney played the Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart, the leader of UNIT and father of new series character Kate Stewart. Nicholas Courtney made his final appearance as the Brigadier on the Sarah Jane adventure several years ago. The character was affectionately referred to by the fans as the Brig. Are they all laughing hysterically yet, Jamie? Sure. Oh, good. Araxa has awoken her personal guard. It's time to attack. Godsaker wants to know who they really are, and Bill explains they're sort of cops. After he has a good laugh at the idea of a female policeman, he admits to having been hung for desertion. They bungled it, and he was allowed to return to service, but Ketchlove found out and has been extorting money for his silence. As the sergeant and Vincey discuss this recent turn of events, a Martian hand bursts through the soil. While Vincey talks about his upcoming wedding, the Martians emerge from behind the Gargantua and kill the Sarge. Ketchlove orders the cannon turned, but it's too heavy. As an ice warrior emerges into the doctor's cell, Araxa is waking up hundreds of more warriors. Ketchlove shoves Vincey in front of him, getting the poor lad killed before making a break for the spaceship, leaving his men behind to die. The Martian in their cell is Friday. He wants to end this slaughter as well. They escape the cell, but a terrified Godsaker flees, which is a bit of a surprise as we're expecting him to have his redemption moment, but of course that'll come later. The doctor needs a distraction, and Bill unhesitatingly agrees, calling out the Empress. This is a better acting moment for Bill Mackey than the earlier confrontation. Here she gets to let Bill shine as the person the doctor trusts to get things done, and the holding hands moment with Friday is a nice physical action to reinforce the possible bond between the two species. She asks why did they need to go to war, but Araxa is insistent that the Ice Warriors are strong on their own. They need no one. The doctor interrupts. If the fighting doesn't stop, he'll use the Gargantua to blow a hole in the roof. The northern pole of Mars will drain in, freezing them all forever. Just like Frozen. A movie he has seen. The doctor likes Frozen? Jamie, this is terrible. So? Well, because it can only mean one thing. The doctor's preparing himself for a future catastrophic shift in the Earth's poles that will render this planet a frozen shell of its former self. Nah, I just think he's a fan of Idina Menzel. Who? Adele Dazeem. Oh, yes, she is good, isn't she? She played a Martian once. No, that was Wicked. Thank you, Jamie. I did think it was a good observation. Ugh. The humans and Ice Warriors can live together or die together. Just as Araxa is considering the doctor's words, Ketchlove returns and holds a knife to her throat. He'll need her help getting the spaceship to fly, and he could also use help acting. Ferdinand Kingsley continues to play the character as a traditionally arrogant colonial-era British soldier. He's thoroughly unlikable, but that whole, I like my plan better, is just awful writing. He gets to the elevator with the intent of stranding the two species when Godsaker reappears and shoots Ketchlove, saving Araxa. Here, Godsaker finally has his redemption moment. It's not the best arc, but the writing here by Mark Gatiss isn't very subtle. Still, taken as an action episode rather than a morality play, I do think it works and is a fun story. The Empress is surprised that he saved her, but Godsaker offers his life to Araxa. The Colonel begs that she spares his soldiers and the Earth. She decrees that he will die with honor, but not today. Araxa spares Godsaker, and he pledges his service to the Ice Warriors, ending the hostilities. The Martians here are well played and show a reasonable, if easy-to-anger species. That said, there's not much to say about the performances of Adele Lynch and Richard Ashton. They're competent, but their acting has to come all through mouth expression. At least they didn't voice that awful CGI Martian head on us from Cold War. The Doctor sets up a communication device, and the Ice Warriors are contacted by none other than Alpha Centauri of the Galactic Council. This is the beginning of the golden age of the Ice Warriors, and the appearance of our old friend Alpha Centauri, last seen in The Monster of Peladon, ties this episode into the classic series and actually fills a gap in that show, showing how the murderous Ice Warriors of the Second Doctor era became the peacekeepers of the Third Doctor era. This episode is an homage to classic Doctor Who, and is a fun adventure from start to finish. On the surface of Mars, the Doctor, Bill, and Godsaker build the God Save the Queen message as a marker for the incoming galactic fleet. Godsaker finally has his new beginning. He will be a part of the new Martian society. Although they never say what happens to his soldiers. I'm not sure they were all up for never returning home again, were they? The TARDIS finally returns. The Doctor is a bit miffed to find that Nardole let Missy out. But she seems generally concerned for the Doctor. He's not sure he believes it. I'm not sure I believe Michelle Gomez could ever give a bad role, but this was essentially a cameo. There's no meat to this performance. Well, as for the episode itself, well, there were some justifiable criticisms. I found myself not really caring about them as I watched the episode. It was a fun adventure from start to finish. I give Doctor Who, the Empress of Mars, 4 TARDISes out of 5. Now let's head over to the Time Lord of the Week. Today's Time Lord of the Week is the epitome of the word warrior. He's Osmo, but he's better known to you humans as the Mediator. Perhaps you've noticed he's dressed as a Viking. Allow me to explain. He uses his axes to chop through double talk at the bargaining table, and his shield to protect the little guy from the arrows of corporate greed, all the while screaming to the depths of Valhalla, "Hell no, we won't go," as he successfully leads a pacifistic resistance in favor of the working man. He is the Mediator, a warrior for peaceful change. In fact, right now, he's leading a solidarity march for a new union. Scuba. Scuba? Scuba? I don't believe I've heard of them, Jamie. No, it's new. It stands for Scottish Cameramen Under Boss Abuse. Oh, well, I wish them the best of luck. Now tighten up that shot or I shall have you covered in tarantulas. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm the reviewer, and this is You Know Who. Losing your cool, reviewer? I do hope you enjoy the chair. You'll find it was made especially for you. You see, I'm almost ready to make my move, and then, reviewer, you will face the unrelenting agony of the reactor.